Some days, it feels like you're not in control. One small thing goes wrong, and suddenly everything feels heavy. Your mood changes, your energy collapses, your thoughts spiral. You tell yourself to stay calm, but inside, it's chaos. You're not weak, you're human. And what you're experiencing isn't failure, it's your biology at work. This is the art and science of emotional control. Every emotion you feel, anger, sadness, joy, fear, isn't random. It's chemical. It's your brain translating life into sensation. When something threatens you, your amygdala, the brain's emotional alarm, fires instantly, faster than thought. It floods your system with adrenaline, increasing your heartbeat, tightening your chest, preparing you for fight or flight. That's not weakness, that's evolution. But here's the paradox. The same system that once kept us alive in the wild now overreacts to emails, breakups, and silence. Your brain doesn't know the difference between danger and discomfort, and so it panics over nothing. Emotional control doesn't mean you stop feeling, it means you stop letting your biology make decisions for you. Your mind reflects your emotions the same way water reflects the sky. When the surface is calm, the world looks clear. When it's disturbed, everything looks distorted. That's what happens when you react in emotion. You see through stormed water, and you mistake the reflection for reality. Psychologists call this emotional reasoning, believing that because you feel something, it must be true. I feel anxious, so something must be wrong. I feel unloved, so I must not be enough. But emotion is not evidence, it's information. Your job isn't to obey it, it's to decode it. Every emotion carries a message. Anger says, something feels unfair. Fear says, something feels unsafe. Sadness says, something needs to heal. Control begins not by fighting emotions, but by listening to them. The moment you feel something uncomfortable, your body wants relief. That's why you check your phone, eat when you're not hungry, or scroll through noise to silence the inner one. Your brain rewards distraction with dopamine, and so, without realizing it, you start building a loop. Emotion leads to escape, then to numbness, and then you just repeat. Each time you run, you teach your brain that feelings are dangerous. But honestly, the opposite is true. Feeling is freedom. Avoidance isn't control. It's captivity. True emotional mastery is learning to sit in the discomfort long enough to understand it. That's not suppression. That's strength. Here's something science discovered. An emotion, biologically, lasts only 90 seconds. That's how long the chemical rush stays in your bloodstream before it fades. Everything after that is thought. When you replay the moment, argue with yourself, or relive the pain, you re-trigger the emotion, not because it's still happening but because your mind keeps it alive. You are not suffering for 3 hours. You are suffering for 90 seconds, repeated 120 times. That's not your mood. That's your memory. Mind over mood isn't about denial. It's about timing. Pause for 90 seconds. Let the body feel. Let the chemicals fade. Then decide who you want to be. When you name an emotion, you reduce its power. Neuroscientists call it affect labeling. It moves activity from the emotional center of your brain to the rational one, from chaos to control. It's simple, but profound. Say it out loud. I'm angry, I'm hurt, I'm anxious. Suddenly, the emotion becomes something you have, not something you are. And that difference is the foundation of freedom. You have feelings. You are not your feelings. When you can see emotion without drowning in it, you regain your power. You can't control your emotions with a dial, if only it were that easy. But imagine, for a moment, that you could manage emotions this way. You wouldn't want to leave them running at maximum all the time. You wouldn't want to switch them off entirely, either. When you suppress or repress emotions, you're preventing yourself from experiencing and expressing feelings. This can happen consciously, suppression, or unconsciously, repression. Either can contribute to mental and physical health symptoms, including anxiety, depression, sleep issues, muscle tension, and pain difficulty managing stress substance misuse. When learning to manage your emotions, make sure you aren't just sweeping them under the rug. Healthy emotional expression involves finding some balance between overwhelming emotions and no emotions at all. Taking a moment to check in with yourself about your mood can help you begin to regain control. Say you've been seeing someone for a few months. You tried planning a date last week, but they said they didn't have time. Yesterday, you texted again saying, I'd like to see you soon. Can you meet this week? They finally reply, more than a day later. Can't. Busy. You're suddenly extremely upset. Without stopping to think, you hurl your phone across the room, knock over your wastebasket, and kick your desk, stubbing your toe. Interrupt yourself by asking, what am I feeling right now? Disappointed, confused, furious. What happened to make me feel this way? They brushed me off with no explanation. Does the situation have a different explanation that might make sense? Maybe they're stressed, sick, or dealing with something else they don't feel comfortable explaining. They might plan to explain more when they can. What do I want to do about these feelings? Scream, vent my frustration by throwing things, text back something rude. Is there a better way of coping with these feelings? Ask if everything's okay. Ask when they're free next. Go for a walk or run. Can I tell them directly how I'm feeling? Assert yourself. Tell them this is not working for you. By considering possible alternatives, you're reframing your thoughts, which can help you modify your first extreme reaction. It can take some time before this response becomes a habit. With practice, going through these steps in your head will become easier and more effective. If you're trying to get better at managing your emotions, you might try to downplay your feelings to yourself. When you hyperventilate after receiving good news or collapse on the floor screaming and sobbing when you can't find your keys, it might seem helpful to tell yourself, just calm down, or, it's not that big of a deal so don't freak out. But this invalidates your experience. It is a big deal to you. Accepting emotions as they come helps you get more comfortable with them. Increasing your comfort around intense emotions allows you to fully feel them without reacting in extreme, unhelpful ways. To practice accepting emotions, try thinking of them as messengers. They're not good or bad, they're neutral. Maybe they bring up unpleasant feelings sometimes, but they're still giving you important information that you can use. Emotional control isn't about being unshakable, it's about being aware. Awareness is like a light you shine on your own mind. When anger rises, notice it. When fear grows, observe it. When sadness whispers, listen. You don't have to fix it instantly. You only have to see it clearly. Because what you observe no longer controls you. Music swells, bright, calm tone. That's mindfulness in action, not a trend, not meditation fluff, but a neurobiological skill to quiet the storm without denying the rain. Scene 7. The quiet strength, within narrator. We often mistake control for suppression, for silence, for coldness, but real control is gentle, it's compassionate, it's the strength to stay soft in chaos. It's saying, I can feel this, and still choose peace. Soft rain fades, warm light returns. Your emotions are not enemies, they're waves. You can't stop the ocean, but you can learn how to surf. And when you do, you stop drowning in moods and start riding them with mastery. Scene 8. The Art of Balance. Narrator. Mind over mood isn't about being emotionless. It's about being emotionally intelligent, to feel deeply, but not react blindly. To let pain move through you, without letting it define you, to stay centered when the world pulls at every edge of your being. That's not coldness, that's evolution, because a quiet mind creates a powerful soul. Piano returns. Soft, hopeful melody. You were never meant to suppress emotion. You were meant to master it. Final scene. The inner mastery narrator. Calm, powerful. You will still feel sadness. You will still feel anger. You will still feel fear, but you will no longer become them, because now you know the truth. Your mind is the sky. Your emotions are the weather. Let them pass. Stay infinite. Soft ambient echo. Serene stillness. Narrator. Whisper. This is not suppression. This is awareness. This is art. The art of emotional control. Screen fades to black. Logo appears. MindScripted. Soft echo. Awareness is freedom.